I'm forever telling you to go practice, but I don't always tell you what or how to practice. Time to address one of the classics. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Brian from Airflow Music. If you're new around here, I'm a trumpet player and teacher based in New York City. I set up Airflow Music to publish some books for brass players, and that's something I still do. But I've also been producing a bunch of videos with tips to make brass playing easier for you. I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel so you can keep up with what I'm up to. There are certain quintessential books and exercises that we should all be working on as we develop our trumpet playing. I'm talking about the classics that we always come back to, like the Arban for example. Another book that falls into that category, as far as I'm concerned, is Herbert L Clarke's Technical Studies. If you don't own a copy of the Clarke Technical Studies, I strongly recommend that you go order one right now. I'll post an Amazon link below. It's not too expensive. When I searched a few minutes ago, it was change short of $12 US. But it truly is one of the most essential books to practice and learn, in my opinion. The studies are pretty famous, so even if you don't have a copy yet, the chances are that you've played or heard one or other of them before. In this video I wanted to share some tips for Clarke 2, how I practice them, and some of the things I encourage my students to do to really get the most out of them. 1. Observe the dynamics. Almost every time I ask a new student to play a Clarke study for me, they play it much too loud. Clarke 2 is marked, right there on the page, to be played piano, softly. In fact, all the studies in the book are marked at either piano or pianissimo. Now, what I'll actually encourage you to do, starting out, is to play Clarke 2 as softly as you can comfortably play, staying relaxed and not pinching the lips. We're trying to train the lips to have a supple response to the air. You can then work to bring the volume down as you become more accustomed to playing them. 2. Go slow. There are tempo markings on all the Clarke studies, but they should really be treated as a target, something you can work towards or even exceed with diligent practice. The tempo range marked on Clarke 2 is half note or minim between 80 and 120 beats per minute. In actual fact, what I encourage you to do, as I do with most all of my students, is to play them very slowly to begin with. Literally at 8th note or quaver equals 60. I'm talking this slowly. What I want you to focus on is playing smoothly and evenly from the heart of one note to the next. Keep it the relaxed, soft dynamic we talked about and make sure that everything is connected, with no air balls and no crashing around on the wider intervals. You should play each line at least once through in a single breath. Also, use this slow practice time as an opportunity to focus on good finger technique, pressing the valves firmly and quickly, and not letting the fingers float more than a millimetre or so off the valve buttons on the upstroke. Playing Clarke 2 this way is incredibly revealing at first. However, if you can do it, it'll be much easier to play them cleanly and quickly once you start to increase the tempo. 3. Play in other tonalities. Clarke 2 is a fantastic pattern to apply to different scale types once you're familiar with the major scale version. Adjust them and apply minor scales, whole tone scales, or even diminished or chromatic scales to the pattern. It makes for a great workout for your fingers and for your brain. 4. Play them higher than written. On the page, Clarke 2 is notated in a fairly narrow range, just in the first 2 octaves of the trumpet. There's absolutely no reason you shouldn't continue to higher keys, and in fact I encourage you to do so. It presents an interesting challenge to play them softly and accurately in the octave and a half or so above where they're notated. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button if so. It really does make a big difference if you do. I'm here with new videos every week between these Trumpet Pro Tips and the Exercise of the Week series. So please subscribe and click the notification bell that pops up so you're notified when a new video is uploaded. I'll see you on the next video. Now, go practice.